I wrote it correctly, your butt won't move. I mean, you'll move it around, but yeah. So this is kind of a practice of stillness. So to begin, you'll start in a seated meditation, sitting up nice and tall. And I want you to come into your ujjayi breath, so making audible sound, because you're not taking up a lot of space on your mat. This practice, I want you to feel comfortable taking up some space making sound. So take your nice first up, let's begin and just take 3 big inhales and exhales coming to our practice. So nice full inhale, slow exhale. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Inhale in. And exhale out. So start making some noise for your ujjayi breath. So take your full inhale in through the nose. At the top, hold and constrict the back of the throat. So when you exhale out through the nose, it makes a sound. And when you feel like you can't push anymore out, push the belly button into the spine and see if you can release a little more carbon dioxide, and then take a nice full inhale in. Hold, constrict the back of the throat, and exhale out. Keep going at this pace. At least try to make some noise with the exhale, and then get comfortable making noise with the inhale. And I'll tell you when we're about halfway through this early meditation. You're about halfway through. So see if you can allow your body to expand just a little bit. See if the exhale can be a little louder. Slowly decide if you want to keep or leave the Ujjayi breath. And whatever you decide, just take a nice full inhale in and exhale. Slowly bring your left leg on the bottom, parallel to the top of the mat, and then stack your right leg on top. So you're in your double pigeon. And you decide how close you want the legs to the pubic bone. But see if you can have the ankles over the knees and the feet flexed. Sit up nice and tall here. Maybe hands are on the thighs. You'll be here for a total of 8 minutes. So the first 3 minutes, you focus on sitting up nice and tall, and then you'll fold forward. All right, so come up nice and tall. Try to not necessarily puff the chest forward and lean in the low back, but see if you can keep the heart going forward a little bit like a proud pigeon. All right, here we go. One more minute left seated. And then use your next inhale to grow the spine nice and long. And as you exhale, fold forward. And you'll know how low you need to go. You can always use a prop. To rest the head or the legs. But be certain that you keep your sit bones rooted down and that you're not allowing it to come up, because then that can give you too much of a tilt in the pelvis. So see if you can find that stillness in a fold. And you're here for 5 minutes, and I can give like a halfway check-in point. about the halfway mark. Take one last cycle of breath here. And then slowly walk yourself up as you inhale and find stillness in a seated double pigeon. And then slowly leave the left foot or left leg the way it is, but then bring the right leg around, setting yourself up for deer. So the right heel towards the right glute, or maybe it's out to the side a little bit, but have the left foot touch the right thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Decide if you want to bolster for your deer, and then reach the arms up high so you have this nice straight spine. And then rotate over towards the left side and slowly bring your hands down. If you want, you can add a twist by taking the right side of your face onto the bolster. I'm just gonna hang out here. And you're here for 7 minutes. You're at about the halfway point. You're coming into the last minutes of this pose, so see if you can lengthen the inhale and exhale. Taking your final cycle of breath, slowly push yourself up and look to the ground if you're not already. Bring yourself back up nice and tall. And then from here, adjust the sit bones so then your legs can come wide. You might want to rock back so you feel the sit bones engage. Keep the legs activated by pushing out through the heels, toes are up. Sit up nice and tall. Reach your arms up high to the sky. And then fold down the center. So you're in this folded seated, wide-legged pose for 5 minutes. So use any props you want to maybe make it a little more of a restorative pose. And if you feel like the urge to hang on to the toes, you can too. You're coming into about the halfway point, so see if you can fold a little deeper, or honor if you need to come up a little higher. Take your last cycle of breath here. Let your inhale bring you up nice and tall. Great. All right, this time, bring your right leg in front of you, parallel to the top of the mat, best as can be, and then stack the left leg on top in fire log or double pigeon, whatever preferred vernacular you'd like. But try to get to a point where the left ankle is over the right knee and the left foot stays flexed, and maybe the left knee sits on top of the right ankle and the right foot stays flexed. And you start off here for the first 3 minutes, just nice and tall. You're in your last minute, seated nice and tall. And take your full inhale. And as you exhale, fold forward, using props if you need them. Give a little adjustment to your feet too. Make sure the feet are somewhat flexed. Find your sweet spot because you know you'll be here for 5 minutes. And I'll give you a halfway point so you can decide if you need to deepen or adjust. You're at about a halfway point. Slowly take your final cycle of breath. Use your inhale to come up to your seated pose. Stay for a breath. And then get yourself set up so you can come to deer pose on the right side. So the right leg stays put, and then you'll bring the left leg to the left side. Maybe the heel touches the glute, maybe it doesn't, but have the right foot touch the left thigh. Come up nice and tall. Have your nice straight spine, so when you rotate over to the right, you've got space. And then eventually start folding over to the right and making a choice of how deep of a rotation you want by bringing the left side of the face onto the mat. Knowing that you're here for the next 7 minutes, and I'll give you a halfway check-in. But really drop into your breath here too. Really take up space as you breathe. halfway point. You are in the last 30 seconds of this pose. So see if you can take the longest cycle of breath yet. And then gently start looking at the ground, propping yourself up and walking back. Beautiful. Awesome. Send both legs long. And it's kind of your preference if you want them together or about hips distance apart. Make sure you're back on the sit bones. You'll stay on them. We're just kind of moving around. You'll come into your caterpillar pose or seated forward fold. So if you want, you can have a strap or have blocks and props on the thighs or under the knees. You'll be here for 5 minutes. So you kind of decide what you need. Sit up nice and tall. Take your full inhale. When your exhale is ready to happen, that's when you'll fold forward. And then find a spot, either if you're not holding onto a strap, rest your hands on the ground or on the shins. Keep the heels pressing out, toes pushing forward. Slide the shoulder blades down and away from the ears and reach the crown towards the feet. I'll give you a halfway check-in to see if you want to fold a little deeper, if you need to back out. You're coming into the halfway point. So give yourself a gentle body scan. See if you can keep pressing out through the heels. See if you can release any tension that you may be holding in the legs. Maybe reach the crown of the head, giving some length into the spine. And only then decide if folding deeper will serve you best. take your final cycle of breath. Use your inhale to draw yourself up. Great. This time come into easy pose and don't have the ankles crossed, but have the legs lie in front of each other. Have the right leg lie in front of each other, or in front of the left. And then adjust if you need on your sit bones. Come up nice and tall. Okay. Maybe shrug the shoulders up and away from the ears in reverse direction. Bring the arms out to a T. Reach the fingertips away from each other, coming up nice and tall. And then from here, bring your left arm in front of you, bend the left elbow, and bring the right arm underneath. Find your eagle arm pose. And if finding the full eagle arm expression is not working for you, have the right arm on top of the left. Okay, so with eagle, in traditional eagle, it's not uncommon to have the elbows cued to be up at shoulder height. You can do that, but I would like you to take the thumb closest to your third eye and place your thumb in that spot just above and between the eyebrows. And then try to bring the scapulas down, the shoulder blades down, away from the ears. Maybe the elbows come up, maybe they don't. And just stay here in stillness. You're here for 4 minutes. So if you want to just begin by inhaling the elbows up and exhaling the elbows down, you can. But eventually, maybe after 5 or 10 cycles of breath, you just stay in stillness. Last minute here. inhale. Slowly release as you exhale. Bring the left arm behind you and the right arm on top. So now you're in cow face arms. And if your hands don't touch, that's fine. You can always use a strap. So this is a nice little counter stretch. You'll be here for 2 minutes in the counter stretch. So if you want, you can lean a little to the left and then to the right, but eventually find some stillness. And if you know right away you want to fold forward, you can fold forward. Full inhale. Slow exhale as you release your arms. Switch your legs, and if you feel like you need to take a little windshield wiper, you can. And then eventually have the right leg lay closer to you, the left leg lay away towards the top of the mat. Sit up nice and tall. Adjust your sit bones so they're back into the ground. Reach the arms out to a T. Fingertips stretch away from each other. And then bring the right arm in front of you. Left arm comes underneath now. Finding your eagle arm pose. And once again, the closest thumb comes to the third eye. And if that's not available, fire log. All right. If you want, as you inhale, bring the elbows up a little high and then a little low. But eventually find stillness after 5 to 10 breaths. Knowing that you're here for 4 minutes. You're about halfway through. Take a nice full inhale. Exhale allows you to release so you can bring your right arm behind you and left arm comes to the top of your back. So now you're in your cow face arm. Nice little counter stretch to what you did. If the hands touch, that's great. If not, you can use a strap. Just try to keep the left elbow high, right elbow pointing down. Come up nice and tall, knowing that you're here for 2 minutes. So if you want to take a fold instead, you go for it. All right, take a cycle of breath here. At the end of your exhale, allow your arms to release. And then you make a choice if you want to shrug the shoulders. Bring the feet flat and you can windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And then when you're ready, slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. And if you seated yourself correctly on your mat, you won't have to move your butt at all. And once you're completely seated onto your mat, keep your feet flat and your knees up. Suss around so you can feel the spine on the mat. The low spine you won't feel because it'll be arched up just slightly. But feel the spine on the back, slide the shoulders down and away from the ears. Maybe rock the head from side to side. And hug the knees into the chest and give them a squeeze. And then with the arms out to a T, slowly allow your knees to fall over to the right side. Giving yourself a twist. And if you want, you can look out over the left shoulder. Take one more cycle of breath. Inhale, draw yourself into center. Maybe give the knees another squeeze, rocking from side to side. And then
Arms come back out to a T, knees go over to the left side, and then it's your choice if you want to look out over the right shoulder. Take your final cycle of breath. Bring your knees into the chest, give them a squeeze. And then extend one leg long, followed by the other. You can give yourself a full body stretch. And settle into your final pose of Shavasana, knowing that I am minding the time for you, and I'll call you back.
If you want, you can stay in your Shavasana. But if you're ready to end your practice, take a nice full inhale in. Slow exhale. Slowly make your way onto your right side. Staying here for a few cycles of breath. Make your way into a seated position, sitting up nice and tall. Ending your practice with a few cycles of breath. Reach up your arms on your inhale, bring them together in prayer and pull them down to heart center on the exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Reach up as you inhale. This time, as you come to heart center, pause at your third eye as a reminder to have loving thoughts. And then pause at your lips as a reminder to have loving words. And then pause at your heart with a soft bow as a reminder to have loving actions towards yourself and towards others. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in you. Namaste. Thank you.